Late night drives and hot French fries, and friends around the country, from Charlottesville to good old Santa Fe. When I think of you, you still got on that hat that says let's party. I hope that thing is never thrown away.
So you're kind of new to wine. You probably occasionally have it.
Yeah. My wife and I are Angelinos, so I feel like there's like this obligation to like pretend like we can keep up with whatever the hip new thing is. So if it's the rosé season, then we pretend that we know what that's all about. And then if it's the natural wine moment, then that's all we know how to say at all the restaurants. So we are Fairweather fans.
Well, we're going to show you, well, you'll be able to see Paso Robles, because part of this is not just us, but what an amazing place Paso Robles is. The name Tooth and Nail comes from the Darwinism, fighting tooth and nail.
Right on.
I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I've worked really hard for this. And right now we're at that point where we're finally starting to make it. And I think we're making some really great wines.
We've always felt really important for us and our identity as a company is we don't want to like do what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
We kind of, Rob and I have always, with the wine style, with our winemaking, the way we approach how we farm things in the vineyard is, it gives me the ability to really express myself creatively with, making wine.
I've always been like a really big fan of like art and music. I'm a super big music fan and art fan. I love graphic novels, street art, and so that's kind of what we've emulated in these, the labels that we have, showing more to customers more than just the wine that's in the bottle.
Studio tan, and for the first time found it hard telling the difference between all her friends and all her fans, which left her with us. I've been writing songs since I was 12. And we're very lucky where we're one of those bands where, sure, we're not playing MSG or something, but the fans that show up to our shows are not looking to hear any cover songs or even any song in particular at all. Like our audience allows us to be us. Some people said she was insane, but those losers only think about the winners. The winners only think about the game. Remember like the Sideways movie where the Merlot gets made fun of?
Oh, yeah. To this day, so I had a lot of Merlot at that point in time, and I literally could not sell. I love the movie, but it killed me. So
That's funny.
The joke on this movie is remember at the end when he's in that little greasy hamburger place and he's got like the foam cup and he's pouring that wine in there. That's Petrus, which is Merlot. 100% Merlot. So that's kind of the joke behind all of it.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
That Merlot moment, what you're describing, that reminds me of how I felt as an Eagles fan with the band with Big Lebowski. But Merlot's still on the outs. It's still not okay.
Yeah, that's not good.
You're your best critic.
Right.
It's like if you drink this and you like this wine, then it's your wine.
Yeah.
Just because someone says it's incredible doesn't necessarily mean you're going to like it. And don't feel like you're ever forced to like something. California wines are just dripping with sunshine.
Right.
Right? It's warm, but it's cool because the Pacific Ocean's right there.
Yeah.
So it's like we're getting the fruit ripe, and therefore the wines are going to be ripe.
Right.
And they're going to be delicious in their youth. And certain varieties, like Cabernet and Syrah and Grenache to some level, will benefit from 2-3 years in the bottle,
Yeah. Right.
Whereas others, it's like drink them young.
I predict this motel will be standing until I pay my bill. All I was really listening to was John Prine, the band, Bob Dylan, definitely, and just like country music, definitely not California music. And then when people heard our first record, like, oh, you guys are a California band. And we didn't really think of it that way. We're like, oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
We're like, well, yeah. Look at CSN. Look at Joni. Look at
Yeah.
look at Jackson. Look at the Eagles. Look at Warren Zevon, who became my hero. All these Californian artists that we weren't really aware. I mean, obviously we knew Joni Mitchell. Obviously we knew Crosby, Stills and Nash. But we hadn't studied it until people said that you sound like this. I just feel like all these artists are examples of people being true to themselves. And then if it happens to represent a generation, then good on you. The one thing that we all have in common is that we're doing whatever we want on our own terms. Don't the sun look angry at me? I was sitting in the Hollywood Hawaiian Hotel.
And I kind of wanted to talk about the labels a little bit. I'm like
Please.
a label geek, and so this is actually, we have a local artist here in town in San Luis Obispo, and I worked with him on this. I love the gorillas and that whole cartoon band thing, so I kind of took a little bit from that.
Yeah.
We have 4 characters of this, and that each one of these characters is one of our wine club members, except they don't know it's them.
Oh, wow.
And so, and there's some cool little Easter eggs in there. There's a cool Banksy quote on the back, and
cool.
But you know, it's celebrating not just the wine, but just art.
That is nuts. Holy cow. You gotta do this with our record covers.
I love artwork, and that's how I can express myself.
Yeah.
You do it in a song, I do it in label.
It's tough out there, you know. You have to really engage with your customer, and this is the way we can do it. I mean, visual and audio, and you're hearing, like, and then you taste and smell. It's like you're covering everything.
Yeah, that's wild. That is too cool. I will do your interview. Try to explain what I'm going through. Give you something to read into in a million different ways. A sick version of telephone.
Not all music is for everyone. Wine's the same way.
You know, like I said earlier, you know, like the sense of place is really important in wine. You can really, we try to stay out of the way as winemakers, so that this voice can be heard in the vineyard.
You'll notice like all of our wines there's just no funny business in there. One of the cheats on wine is like adding sugar or adding alcohol that makes it taste better. And so we just, whatever Mother Nature gives us, we put it in the bottle.
This vineyard, what's so special about it is the soils. And it's close to the Pacific Ocean, which another thing I like to say is Pacific Ocean's the guardian of a city. The soils are sandy. So it's well drained, so there is an ability for a lot of water to get stored in the root zone, right? So these vines are really struggling all season long. And then you're that close to the ocean and the mouth of the river that it's getting just, you know, hammered with wind all season. So it's really like a marginal place to even farm anything.
Wow.
And I think the wines, as a result, end up having this really beautiful concentration and just like tons of like almost verve and, you know, tenacity. They're just like energetic, fun wines.
That's kind of what we're all about here, is that we call ourselves a house of wine. If you were to go to a lot of wineries around here, you would not find a Gamay, you wouldn't find, you know, the Grenache, a cool climate Grenache. And so we try to do things just a little bit different variety. We kind of make our wines just ready to go, because for that price point, people, that's kind of what they want. They want wines that they can buy and have at, you know, dinner. Wine is just something that brings everybody together, and it also creates this situation where, you know, I like one, you like another.
Yeah.
We share it each other.
Yeah.
And I'm sure music is kind of that same way too. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you know, listen to this band, and you might like them.
Yeah.
So you've tasted what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, pretty much 5 wines.
Mm-hmm.
We have 45 SKUs of wines.
Wow.
We're not going to go through all of them.
I'd be dead.
So
That's really cool.
So which of the wines you kind of identified with? You know, the whites or the reds, and
I think the whites were really great, but I think the Gamay Noir, I think I love that the most.
You know, just like you would, you know, you listen to certain, you know, artists, and you get inspiration from them. We do the same thing. Like very rarely, and, hey, I love our wines. I think they're really amazing, but I learn more from like trying other people's wines, the local people's wines here. I'm a wine lover. Jeremy and I are, and we, you know, we will taste wines from throughout the whole world, and we can get this little nugget from this bottle that we had, a Co-Roti from Northern Rhone. I'm like, wow, we need to do something more like that. And so we do get inspiration from other people too.
Yeah, I also dig not knowing, because I mean, like the kind of music that I play, if I hear other people kind of making the same kind of music, I can clock chords. I can like, oh, okay, this is they're doing a 1/5. You know, I know my language. But then when I listen to classical music or jazz music, it's as if I don't know music at all, and I love that feeling where I don't have to have any terminology or any language in order to like know how I'm reacting to something. And wine is like that for me, where I don't have the education. I just find myself reacting on a visceral level.
That's the fun part about it, is learning about it, and then enjoying it and sharing it with other people.
Yeah.
So
Right on.
yeah, let's give a cheers to that.
Cheers. I hope you guys have been enjoying this as much as me. This truly means a lot. Thanks for letting me do my thing. Thanks for creating such a cool community of people. I didn't really think I was about to start giving a speech. I just thought we were going to give a toast. So here I am still talking. All right. Cheers, everybody.